Hi, welcome to my tube. My name's Margie. I'm a Hilk empath, and I just like having these little talks on the way I feel about things. And today I feel pretty good. I got a lot of placements, planets in Cancer, so I'm in Pisces, a lot of Gemini too. So I'm just like, woo, going with the flow. Yeah, I feel good. I'm even shutting the noise out, and the noise is close. It's right there. I had the window closed since these people have overrun the assholes, neighbors, the people, the suck in which the suck spawned from, or have overtaken the property until another place is closing escrow or some crap. And it's just, they brought a dog, and even sucky people have sucky dogs, and it's never the dog's fault. It's because they neglect the dog and they treat the dog like a dog, because that's what people like them do. They treat dogs like dogs and animals like animals, because that's what egotistical narcissists do, is they treat animals like they don't got a spirit, because that's how they were treated. So they have to get things like animals and abuse them, in their own little twisted ways. And I've been around a lot of dogs and animals, and I've seen a lot of behavior. I just found out that a couple days ago that anthropology meant the study of like behavioral humans' behavior, and I'm like, well, I've been an anthropologist since birth. I've always just been like a spectator going, why are people acting like this? Why are people so ugly to each other? And I think I pretty much figured it out, yeah. Thanks again. Don't drink the Kool-Aid shared another one of my talks this morning, and coming up on like 1,000 views in a 12-hour period. That's cool. That's cool. I like breaking records. I like stats and numbers and numerology. And before I started this, that's why I was late. See, because I get I queue up the talk, and then I just wait to hit go live. I even went to my other YouTube channel, my private one, my personal one, to see what it looks like for everybody else. And it says premiere, but I'm just waiting to hit the go live button mostly on OBS, the software OBS, and in, because you have to hit it in OBS, start streaming first. Are you sure? Yes. And then it connects with the tubes. And then once it syncs and they start cooperating, then you can hit go start live stream. You're ready to live on the tubes. So that's what I see. I was thinking of supernatural stuff, because I'm hearing a lot of talks. I spend most of my days, because I hang out with my mom. She's having a good day. Her spirits are high. I like when her spirits are high. She's extra chatty, and she's engaged. And then when I go out in the evening, she's kicked back in her chair, and her feet are up on the stool, and she's sporting her little Vans, And I'm just like, oh, right on, because I ain't the soft and cuddly. I mean, I'm the freaking militant one. I'm the like, there's a reason why I want things done a certain way, do it my way, because I'm right. That's when my ego is not in balance and in check. That's how things are, and it has served me in the 3D life, but now that the 5D Earth exists, that attitude didn't serve. So I had to modify my behavior to be more comfortable in the 5D Earth, because there ain't no place for ego there. So a lot of people are talking about supernatural events, and I've already seen some accounts of some more than natural events. But you think about what a supernatural event is. I look at it, I had to look at the definition to make sure I was on the same page with some people, because some words mean some things to some people that mean different things to others. They hear supernatural and they just close down any kind of acknowledgement or recognition of anything, because they think it's just woo-woo shit and it's ghosts and fairies and things that don't exist. But the reality of it is all these things exist because it's all energy and frequency. So by definition, supernatural of a manifestation or event attributed to some force beyond specific understanding or laws of nature. manifestation or events considered to be of supernatural origin, such as ghosts. All ghosts are is an imprint of a spirit that's stuck in a frequency because of an unfortunate event. They don't even know they're stuck. It's like when stuck on replay, like you hear those, there's some shows. What was one of them? How I Met Your Mother, and it was the I Would Walk, and in the beginning it's like, yeah, it's a cool song and everybody's pumped up, but you listen to that song for years and years, it's like, but then when you get rid of the car, it's sad, to think that it's over. So people, that's what energy is to me, or ghosts are to me, is spiritual imprints of a frequency of them just getting stuck. And all you got to do is give them a little help, a little get them back to source, But then people started, churches started profiting. That's satanic, But the reality of it is the people that are like demonizing people for just trying to help spirits pass on into source. The people that demonize it, it's because they started profiting from it, and then actually they're the ones that are like freaking drinking baby ghost blood and whoever else, Because think about it, churches, Catholic. It's weird to me. I'm like, so let me get this straight. Little freaking 4-year-old kid with a speech impediment, that thinks everything in literal sense, and reads energy already. Like, so let me get this straight. I'm supposed to drink that, and it's Jesus Christ's blood. They're like, no, it's a representation of it. And I'm like, okay, so I'm supposed to be, it was always weird to me then, and people are just like blindly just have done it, and then now the whole storyline of bloodletting and stuff like that is just pretty interesting to me. See, I've always thought backwards. My life has always been supernatural, because I've always believed in higher things, because fuck, man, by definition, I got 1,000 stories in my history of accounts of just really shitty things that have happened in my life, and evidently I went to the Akashic record before this incarnation, and I'm like, well, let's make sure I learn all my lessons, because I don't know if I want to incarnate anymore. There might be bigger and better things out there than hanging out on this alien ant farm, this Earth school. Somebody mentioned that, Gary Zukav, and I was like, I've known him. I heard his first talk on Oprah. We lived on Manzanita Street. I think I was like 10 or 11. First time I saw their interview, because she was on after school, and she always had different people on, and I would always watch her, because I didn't know if I'd ever end up going to any places, and I could listen to other people's accounts to get reports about what the world was like. And then later in life I got to go out in it, and I'm like, well, I found a very, very different world. But I think people got carried away with their ego. Anyway, I grew up near Redding, in Redding, California, near Mount Shasta, which is pretty significant in spiritual type circles. And he had a spot there, and he was in the military, and later I was in the military, and it's just, kind of synchronistic. But, and as the years gone on, I kind of kept track of him, and I don't think he lives in Mount Shasta. He might have to retreat places and stuff, but, people move on and evolve and get better ideas about things, so. But the thing of it is I've been tracking data and collecting data points on spiritualism and religions and all kinds of different ideas about things. Just listen to people's stories and perspectives, and I picked up on a lot of things, and it all comes down to, we're puppets on planetary strings with free will, and people have chosen their free will to live in their ego, and the karma has been racking up for years and years and years and years, and the karma's been pumping out as quick as the Federal Reserve has been pumping out freaking bills and stuff, and it's always to support the upper epsilon, and that it don't ever trickle down, man. And the freaking cracks keep getting wider, and and people are figuring it out, and I get a lot of job notifications from a lot of different places, and that's one of the ways I collect data, is because you got to look at Look at the stats, you know. People get stats all the time and they don't even know it. Like here's I'm qualified for these jobs too, you know, information technology specialist, Office of Systems Integration, Sacramento County, okay? The pay range for that is $5,297 to $8,570 a month. All right? Now, I live within my means. I could live on that in a year, you know? So it's like, why do people think that they're so important that they need that much a month? What do you do? I know what you do. You sit there and you watch YouTube videos all day. And then you pay yourselves that much. And then you go get your kids, and then you get to leave and do this, and you get to live and do that, so you're not even working freaking 40 hours a week. And then you get so much vacation pay, you're out of the office for freaking a third of the year. And nothing ever gets done, and nothing ever gets done. So they create more offices, and they create more offices. I was reminded of that. Mom and I were talking about that today. I'm like, Mom, look at all the land management's office. Because Sam Elliott, I talked earlier today about Sam Elliott and how he's from Sacramento and how his dad worked for the Department of Fish and Game. That's the thing, is they created all these entities, and it was for the good. The Constitution, it was for the good, but the egos got in the way, and then they contorted it and twisted it and made it something pervy and gross. Uncle Sam got demented, and it's sad. And, you know, we're ready for, I don't know, I'm ready for a new flag with more shades of brown in it, less white. White is the absence of color, and that's not what this country is based on. We are a mesh pot, a hodgepodge, if you will, or if you won't. We're just all different shades of the same color wheel, and we're all the same. So I think everyone deserves an allowance, wouldn't you say? You know, cut their pay. Cut their pay. I'm ready to cut their pay. If I were ever to run for any kind of, you know, position of where my recommendations count for anything, the first thing I do is be like, give me about half of that. And then recommend them, like, you know, because nobody needs to live, because you're paying for their ego. You're paying for their kids' colleges and tuitions, and they can go to junior college just like everybody else had to do. But no, you're paying for them to go to these freaking private colleges, you know, where it's like this ungodly amount, while other kids in the country are freaking homeless, living in parking lots and making things work and being resourceful and coming up with new inventions on how to live out of your car to make things, you know, doable and stay clean and stuff like that. Because, you know, the greedy people in the college towns jack the rents up so high that kids can't afford that. They can't afford the freaking $250,000 tuition. They can't afford to pay for other people's egos, and enough is enough. And I'm here to say, enough is enough. The gig is up, you know. Like if there's so much money on this planet, you know, just think about all the stuff that could be done, you know, out of the spirit for fun and for free. That's what's coming down to it. People are really stepping into it. And I mean, there's, and all these non-for-profits and stuff like that. I think about, you know, what do you have to do? Well, you have to get a lawyer, and you have to pay for this, and you have to pay for that, and I don't even want to bother. So everything else, I'll just do it for free, and then people can pay me what they think that they're worth is like a tip, you know, and I'll claim my tips or whatever, just like I'm supposed to do to stay in good standing. Absolutely. Go by the rules. But when the control freaks are out of control and they keep making up rules, and they clearly don't follow the same rules as themselves, they're clearly like they have a different idea of what their rules and regulations are, and then us down here, you know, with our feet firmly planted, boots on the ground, you know, we got different ideas about what rules are. You know, we're autonomous spirits. We have the ability to self-govern. So all the people that need so much to make things work, and think about all the stuff that like think about all the offices for the land. The Bureau of Land Management, Department of Fish and Game, you know, all of there's like 12 of them. I've done ever the talks about them before. There's like 12 of them, and they're all these offices all over the USA. You know, there's like 2,500 employees. You know, maybe 20,000 employees here, but the budgets for these are like in the billions. For what? Because there's still forest fires. We're about to hit forest season. There's still there's still supernatural events that happen, and people still end up homeless, and it's because people create so many rules up here, and all these bailouts, it never gets to the people. It's not like they're handing out cash on the streets to make sure that people can get things that it's not like that. No, the bailouts are for the billionaires. It's to make sure that they maintain their billions. That's what it's for. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. Many people have been led to their own demise. Yeah, by believing things are for their own good. Yeah. So, don't take my word for it. I want people to really look up their own stuff themselves. Yep. Let's see. What else is going on in the world today? What else is going on in the world today? Oh yeah, so these jobs, but the people that do the work, I'm like, I've worked at these multi-gazillion dollar companies and stuff like that, and I never got paid like that. So why are these city and local companies, people that we pay their taxes, that the taxpayers pay their wages, why do they feel like they deserve so much? So with all this defunding of police, no, it's not defunding the police. It's just freaking paying them what they're worth. And if you go down that ant hole, they're all high school grads. Because they set the bar low, because, that's what the good old boys club is you set up the military structure, so they go do a tour, go play in the sandbox across, blow some stuff up, so some guys make some billions, and then they after 4 years, they do some stuff, and they're like, gosh, I didn't know I was capable of that, and then it breaks their psyche and stuff, and then they come back over here, and that's cool, because they all got a job back in whatever, hometown boy does good wherever he comes from. You always got a job here, son. And so he gets on at the local place there, and then he never deals with his demons or knows his astrology, so he starts shorting out, and so he starts taking out his hurts and his pains and aggressions on people on the streets around him. And then we get a little too much, a little too aggressive, too hard, and then or his perversions start coming out in different ways, ladies of the street and stuff, it can turn into a kind of sexual, that's real common story. We see that every day too, and so we see all these people with all this broken psychology and broken hearts and stuff like that, and they don't know where to go and how to heal, and it's all obscure and everything like that, and so they go back into and they give them, because they don't who they are. They've been generations in this line of work and stuff, so they're paid like $83,000 a year for high school diplomas. And how come people aren't raising those questions? So it's not about defunding it. It's like, let them make $14-15 an hour, stop buying them SUVs, and put them in the streets on the people, amongst the people that they are in which they live. They're no different. You got them all garbed up, so you take all that shit, take all the garb off. They don't look like people, they look like stormtroopers. So you got all these control freaks that have these freaking Star Wars complexes and want their little chess pieces to look like little plastic men, and they're really, their egos are really out of control. It's all this overcompensation, all this psychology is playing out with, the astronomy and the psychology are just like extra uber modified because of all the space energy and the alignments that are happening, and people are really, quite frankly, showing their asses is what's happening, and it's only gonna get more. It ain't gonna get less, so get used to it, People who are going to have a hard time are those that have an idea of how Earth is and how it should be, and that there's like a left and a right and I mean, I don't even know which political sides or stand for what. I just see this hodgepodge. It's like It's like when I was a little girl, I had this imposed idea based on the words that were imposed on me. I had my own idea of what government was, and it was like men, Republicans, Democrats, and it's like fighting for, one side like an abortion, the other like the freedom of choice. Okay, I'm for that. And then now they're swapped, but the thing of it is, it's smoke and mirrors, and they all got together, so it's Pigpen. It's Pigpen that navigates through, is this like this part, this cloud of dusk like pig that follows Pigpen on peanuts everywhere, and it just sits over the United States because of all the karma that it's racked from taking my ancestors' land, from just raping and pillaging and being scoundrels for 500 years. This whole misogynistic patriarchal freaking idea of control that somebody isn't above anyone else, religion, government, it's all freaking reindeer games where someone's like, listen to my ideas because of who I am, and frankly all their ideas are really fucking stupid. I got good ideas, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I mean, get a PayPal, have people go out like this. I told them at this whole city project thing that is the reason why I don't have water. It's all overgrown, right? I weed whack around it. I weed whack around it, And then I'm like, I told the neighbors, like, well, it's hard to look at. I'm like, well, yeah, they're all keeping safe because they're all building their projects and getting upgrades to make their creature comforts of where they work better. That's what they're doing out with their bailout money. So they stopped maintaining the shit and lost their integrity of the stuff that they said they were going to maintain. And soon it'll dry out and it'll be a fire hazard. But it's okay. It'll be good training for the fire department that's like a mile and a half from me. They have their own lanes sequestered to them. They're a little slow, so maybe they'll get here quick. And I can, So, God forbid that would ever happen, but my point is that they keep paying themselves. They still keep getting their automatic payment checks, but they stop doing the work, and they keep getting fatter, because they keep ordering takeout because all that stuff is open, and they still keep getting paid, but they stop. So I even told the neighbor, I said, yeah, I'd do it. I do. Wouldn't that be great? How come that doesn't exist yet? How's this for an idea, city planners? Is that for people, anybody with the PayPal, you can take a picture of before with the GPS location, clean up the area, right? Say it took 2 hours for me to weed whack that whole area, keep it all clean, make it nice, You don't charge me to pick up the green waste because it's the city area. It's for you, so you're not going to charge me because that would be fucking rude, right? Charge me for garbage for your waste, right? And then you pay me what you pay your city and workers an hourly wage, because I'm a veteran. I should get veteran status. I should get, extra, and make that option for everybody. It's like, because everybody's worth stuff and everybody's willing to work. You just make it so hard. You're control freaks that it's like you make people go through all these hoops and jump through all those hoops. But the fact is, it's the job always goes to somebody that somebody knows. But that nepotism has never favored me. And now I speak out against it because y'all been dicks to me for my whole life, and I'm just trying to get other people to see what a person like that does, what a narcissistic, opportunistic freaking jerk acts like. So we can start busting them out and calling them out, and then, maybe have a little bit more heaven on earth than this freaking crap that we're getting, so... Anyway, that's about all I got for now. Hope you have a rad evening. Peace.